we on for another show of Athletes Connection with my brother from another, Cecil McNair. How you doing today?
I'm doing real good, man. Doing very good.
Still professional there with your Tom Joyner microphone, man. I see you. I like it. I like it.
Trying to do a little something. Nothing too tough.
Okay. How's it going for you guys down there with the COVID adjustment?
Well, right now we on hold because our area is one of the ones that's in the top for the cases and deaths. The Tri-County area between Dade, Broward, and Palm Beach was where majority of the South Florida, the kids come back home and different things of that nature. So right now, we all on hold. They have opened some things back up slowly. We waiting on our state FHSAA to come down with whatever the procedures are going to be, and then from that point we go to the BCAA. Then they break it down from there, and then they allow us to go back. Looking forward to going back soon because I think we had a very promising year coming up. So I want to get back to the Bulls and get them back in shape and just really get back to the grind of a season.
All right, so I'm glad to hear all of that. It's good adjustments and so on and so forth. For you, I'm going to go ahead and get into your hot takes, and we'll go from there.
All right.
Your favorite number?
8.
My favorite number?
5.
All right, let me see. Most interceptions in the game?
2.
Most interceptions you should have had in the game?
3, I think.
All right, you ever played offense on a football game?
Yeah, in college, played tight end for 2 games.
Most catches?
3.
If I had a choice between offense and defense from a coaching standpoint, which one do you take?
For you?
Yeah.
Defense. You should have been playing defense. But you want to catch the ball, so I left you alone.
Oh man. Let me see. If you have a choice between one of the Power 5 Florida schools, which one are you choosing?
Ooh. I'm be honest. If Power 5 Florida school at the time, we talking about right now, or we talking about when I played?
We talk about right now.
Right now, I'll probably be honest. I'll probably go to State.
You go to State and give me a reason why.
I'll probably go to State because Mike Norville. I just kind of been watching Memphis and their attack and offensively and defensively. I just think it's going to suit State very well with the caliber of athletes that they have on both sides of the ball. I think it's going to be a little bit more explosive and simplified. So I just think Norville is going to do a good job. Not to discredit the U and the Gators and things, but I just think Norville with the new influx of him and his coaching staff from Memphis is going to do a great job.
All right, so we'll take that back and we'll warp speed back 19 years. Coming out 2000.
Oh, it's been that long.
Oh. Coming out 2001. Where you go?
Well, coming about 2001, I had two Power 5 schools. It was Missouri and Purdue at one point, and I had one FCS school, which was Eastern Illinois. Coming out, I'll be honest with you, I probably would have went to Missouri. I take that back, and I had USF.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was going to throw that wrench.
I take that back. Yeah, I take that back. I had USF, and it was really between USF and Missouri. I know that the guy from Missouri was really on me just because I was a safety playing corner in the All-Star game. Because we had 4 safeties in one corner. So I just was like, I'll go play corner. and in the All-Star game, and he just seen me in practice and really was on me. But to be honest with you, out of the two, I probably would have went to USL just so my peoples can see me play more often.
I definitely get that. Coming up as a coach's kid, I know it was big for you every time you kind of had a game. You look up in the stands, and your pop was my pop. So, yeah, I know that was kind of big for you, seeing him up top, and even with your moms. It's something about our moms in the crowd. It's like we can only hear their voice when they are screaming. So,
Yeah, and only true football players will get this aspect. You kind of know exactly where they're gonna sit, where they are. They you may try to be like, nah, I don't know. You know exactly where your parents sit, and
you know what time they get to the game.
it's something that's in a football player to find out where their parents, girlfriend type of thing you sitting at, because I just you gotta see, you gotta have that closeness. So yeah, it was a big thing for me.
So with that, I know we have that being said. I know coming out in '01, you had a tough decision to make when it came down to it, but you chose to go away to West Virginia. Tell me how that whole situation came about and how did you adjust? Being that you was a city slicker, city boy, uh, we it's hard for us to get away sometimes, but you did it.
Yeah, well, let me break it all the way down for you, especially for the young athletes of today. Well, like I said, I had a couple of Power Five schools at that time. They weren't Power Fives, but they were just D1s at that time. So going into December, I didn't have the 10 points that I needed at the time for a test score. So it was another test that was doing in January. Took that one, and we didn't get the scores back until actual signing day.
Mm.
So when I got the scores back on signing day, I had the 10. I got the 10 points that I needed on the SAT, but it was signing day. So there was no letter of intent for me at that time. Was disappointed, disappointed just because I knew my talent level and how I played, that I could have really played, D1 ball, but things happen, things happen along the way. So from there, I was just working out hard as I could, just waiting on an opportunity. And I got an opportunity at the D2 level in West Virginia State University, where one of my coaches then played for the University of Miami Hurricanes, Earl Monroe. So he was recruiting down here all the time. So when that happened, I didn't, like most kids, they get to take their visits and everything like that. But for me, it happened in like June. So taking a visit, to be honest with you, I really didn't. It didn't even matter to me. To be honest with you, I didn't take a visit. Didn't even know West Virginia State existed. Uh, I was just about playing ball, because I knew my talent level and how hard I worked to get to this point. It was just something that I wanted to do, especially for my dad, because my dad went to school and he didn't. When he got to school, they had cut out the football team. So for me,
Okay.
it was an aspect of just, you know, living on a legacy, keeping the legacy going. So when I got to West Virginia State, it was different, very different from being, a South Florida country boy, So it was different because it was a lot slower pace, which at the time I really did need. I needed to change the scenery, just to grow and to become a man, become a young man. So got to West Virginia State, and from that point, man, I took it in. I realized that what I'm here for, I'm here to go to school, get my degree, and then to play football. So never really got homesick. And part of that not getting homesick was because it was a lot of Florida boys that were there. We had some guys from Belgrade, we had some guys from Miami. I didn't know any of this, but when I got there, had some from Orange County, you had some So it was a good mix. It was the Florida boys. So for me, I was good. So got to West Virginia State and played for 4 years. Also ran track for 3. So it was a great experience.
Now, was that track a part of your scholarship money, or you just chose to?
I just chose to because I did it down here. So for me, having a semester off or being off, I just didn't feel that it was gonna benefit me.
I got you.
I took it as, the second half of really football until spring came around. So we lifted and ran, got faster. So it was just the same thing that we was doing here as kids. We just jumped from one sport to the next
To the
sport.
next. Yeah.
So,
It's crazy because a lot of kids don't think when you get to college, you still keep that same mentality, but the work don't stop. And that's
never.
what I can say. I gotta ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
I'm your alter ego.
Yeah.
I'm the alter calm. You Mr. Calm or Mr. Hype.
Yeah.
Would I have made it in West Virginia?
Yeah, you would have made it. The reason why I say you'd have made it because a lot of what we did, we really didn't go off of campus.
Okay.
Like we did, and it had nothing to do with we knew that it was still West Virginia, and you still had some parts of it that was not up to date on certain issues and things. Like we knew that,
Yeah.
but we had more Black students on campus. Most people don't know this fact about West Virginia State, that it's a HBCU.
Mm.
You had a lot of renowned people started and come through it and teach there. I didn't know that once I got there. So for me, you would have made it. You'd have made it because first of all, I was there, and then it was the atmosphere, allowed for you to still have fun, but it was still that downtime to get what you needed to get done.
Okay, so you get there, you make it there. You just come home, you tell me your wild stories, but besides football, what was, in your degree, what was your greatest accomplishment during that time at W?
Oh, well, I got 2. One was definitely get my degree.
Yeah.
Because I had a couple of roadblocks there, trying to get it, and I know it bettered me because, like I know as a teacher now, a lot of students have issues with tests.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with they don't know the information or anything like that. It's just sometimes tests are worded certain ways, and cognitively we kind of slip up on some things. So that's one. The other one is being a member of Omega Psi Phi. That to me was something that I wanted to do.
But you didn't have a choice though.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. My dad's one, my uncle is one. Majority of my coaches were Omega, so that was just something that I needed to do because it gave me a link with my dad. Just him being Omega man and me being around him and watching other Omega men coaching, just something that I wanted to be a part of, not because of the hopping of the boots or the colors or even the parties. It had a lot to do with my dad. Though.
Totally get it, man. I definitely understand that from that standpoint, and that's one of the things that I say I missed out on. But we talk about that going to your football.
We gonna change that though. I'm not too worried about it. But go ahead.
We go into your football career, and you guys, you always were right there. I don't think you got to accomplish what you wanted to accomplish, but you did have the ability to learn a lot. And it transitioned for you coming out when you were done to trying to look for your professional opportunities. Tell me how it transitioned coming from that division, trying to play, and then trying to go professionally, and transition into your next sport or your next phase of life.
Well, like I tell a lot of the athletes, division division two, uh, division three. Don't get me wrong. Division one is the top of the top. But you do have good football in other divisions. You got to realize that everybody doesn't get to D1 level. You
Yeah.
have guys that are in D2, D3 that should be playing D1, like literally, legitly. Um, we had a safety, Mike Mayer, that when I came in, he was a junior. When I came in as a freshman, and he was as a junior, he was an NFL hopeful. I
Okay.
mean, was bad out of California. So if you are who you say you are, it doesn't matter where you go, because
Yep.
at the end of the day, when you grind and you show and you put that tape, put yourself on tape, they're going to find you. That's no doubt. So for me, I think D2 was needed just because of the grind. I needed that grind. I needed that preparation phase to try to make it. But not just so much with the football, but outside in my professional career, just to try to make it. So that grind taught me a lot. But I was grinding in high school, to be honest with you. Watching film was like the biggest thing to me. Um, I could be in Coach King PE class and go sit in coach office and watch film. That's just something that was ingrained in me from a kid from my dad. So
Yeah. Being a coach's kid, that's
yes,
always an advantage.
so for me that was just something that I hear a lot of, like your Ed Reeds and your Ray Lewis and say about film. It's true, like it is true. This is almost 60% of the game, because you already know what's getting ready to come. Now it's just getting yourself in position to make the play. So it transitioned to college with my defensive coordinator. And actually, I had it harder in college because my head coach was my position coach. So we were scrutinized every day. But my college coach, man, we used to have 5 a.m. wake up, 5 a.m. film. We'd spend an hour on the first play. He would go through all 11 guys and run it back at least 3 times on all 11 guys. And I didn't understand it. I'm like, come on, coach, man, we gotta get to the good stuff. Like we hitting in this, come on, we gotta get all the way up. We would never get out the first half. Since I was my 4 years at West Virginia State, we never got out the first half of a game. But that taught me something. That taught me that even though you might have done the right thing, there was still something that you needed to work on during that play. Because your eyes may not have been in the right spot. Somebody may be out of position that's in front of you, because being a safety, you kind of the quarterback of the defense. You make sure that adjustments are made passing strength wise, but then you also got to figure out where you fit in on the run. So that being taught to me gave me that grind mode to what I use now, and just really get into it and dive into my craft. Just always want to perfect myself. I always want to learn. So that's really where I got this grind from, was high school and then college. Didn't get a chance to go to the league, and of course it was a dream, something that you dream of as a kid. You're 6 years old, you playing in the house or whatever outside, you tackling the street. Touching the street, tackling the grass, So that's something you dream of, but you come to the realization that, all right, it is what it is, So now it's for me, it was how do I keep myself close to the game, without losing. So that was the next thing for me.
It was definitely eye opener, I think, for a lot of us. We see ourselves in a certain light. You see ourselves doing certain things from an early age, and then when it don't manifest, a lot of people can't deal with the realities. And I felt that, you know, with us, we always found a way to overcome.
Yeah.
Even when, like you said, just not knowing how you're going to get out of school, how you're going to get to the next path. And then you did graduate. So then you graduate, we come home. I'm selling real estate.
Yeah.
And you working at I
was working at
the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club.
And we both looking at our next profession. This can't be the end all of all.
Yeah.
And then I think we just looked up into one of the best situations for two young, 23-year-olds.
Yeah.
To be at a brand new school and just go back to your memory. I have my story about it, but you go back to your memory.
Well, I'm gonna tell the people the real story. So I'm in the Boys and Girls Club, and my degree was first. It started out in education. I was gonna be a physical education. That's what it was. It started out as that, but I had some hiccups, so I had to change my degree my junior year to recreation with the minor in education. So did that, came out. So I was able to get an internship at the Boys and Girls Club for a year. Then they hired me as a social recreation director. I did that for a year. But I knew I wanted to get into the school because I wanted to coach. So it would only benefit me to become a teacher, to get into the school so I could be able to coach with the school I'm at. So I think you had already got the job. I think you had, you know what I'm saying?
No,
I think
sir.
you had.
No, sir.
So I got a job first?
You got a job first.
I can't, okay, well.
I remember, first of all, when you first got your position at the Boys and Girls Club, we thought $34,000 was a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Man, it was no money for all that work I put in.
Oh
like,
my God! We thought it was a lot of money, and I remember.
Yeah, that
thing hired as a teacher first, and
so. Well, how I got you gave me the contact though, I think.
I remember you getting a call saying, Kenny, I got hired as a PE teacher at I ain't know what a Coeur Glades High School was. And you got hired.
So I don't know who gave me the contact for Q.
No, Q.
It was Q.
Lisa Ingram met me at the bar.
That's what it was. See that, but that's
at Willie House or whatever.
Okay.
I was getting a haircut, and she said, "You need to meet Tariq. Tariq Kayem is like both our educational mentor.
Yeah,
great guy, got us going, but he was the head basketball coach there. School had been open for 2 years. He had the job. He needed an assistant. She asked me to meet him. I went and met Q, and after meeting Q suggested that I come in and be a sub and brought me in as his assistant coach. But you had already got the No. So then you came
you that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So then you did come on as and you actually started off. You started your coaching career off.
Yeah, I started. See, I knew I was telling stories.
All right, go ahead.
Listen. So because you called me and was like, hey, they need such and such. You need to get in contact with Q. So
yeah, that's what it was.
So I got in contact with Q, and then I sent him a resume. Next thing I know, the principal called. I had an interview like 2 days after that. And he just like, how would you like to be, or how would you like to come on and be a part of the team, I was like, oh, yeah. At high school like that?
Yeah.
Out the gate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's no brainer.
That wasn't even the kicker though.
Nah, the kicker was, so the AD at the time, Mike Leeds, was the head coach. Shout out Mike Leeds. Because he really kicked it off for me. So between him and Q, they really kicked it off for me. So Mike was like, "Hey, let me talk to you for a minute." So I went into the AD office, and then he was like, "What you think about being the head girls basketball coach?" I said, Mike, I don't know nothing about basketball now. I say the person you talk to is Kenny. I don't know anything about basketball. Like,
Yeah, Q
that's
wasn't
not
giving
my
me up. Q was not gonna give me.
yeah, Q wasn't budging on you. So I guess he was like, let me see if I get the next step. I say, Coach, I don't know nothing about basketball. He was like, nah. He's like, you'll learn. He said, because I see what you're doing out here and how you are learning the guys and trying to figure out what ways for them to be successful. He said, you'll make a great girls basketball head coach. I said, all right. I said, all right, coach. And then he was like, well, we got one of the Broward County best players on the team. So I was like, see, I don't know if I'm
Shout out Fab.
Fab.
Shout out Fab. Fab.
That's my girl. That's my girl. So that's how I got the head girls basketball job. Now, my first year, we end up winning district championship.
You're 3 games away.
District championship. No, we went to the regional.
You went to regional finals.
Yeah, I went to the regional finals.
You'd have had to win that and 2 more. You'd have had a state championship.
First year head coach, football player. Didn't know nothing about basketball. But between Kenny and Q and sitting and watching practice, grabbing some things from them, really studying basketball, that allowed me to really enhance the girls. They had been a little down, not game-wise, but just they felt a lot freer. Like they played a lot freer. So for them, it was a big thing, man. It was big. It was big to me just because it was a sport that I hadn't even really thought about really coaching like that. Like to be honest with you. So for me, that was huge. First year, going to the regional semifinal, lose by 3 points. I can't ask for nothing better than that.
Man, it's crazy because I remember that year. Now it's like now that we talk about it, and part of the reason I started again, I didn't go to school to teach. I want to sell real estate.
Yeah,
I mean? But I know we enjoy coaching. We got into coaching from the time we were in college. We would come back and volunteer at the youth park, and I know we enjoyed doing that. Then we would coach at the local park in the summer. Shout out to Lakes Park. Uncle Pat really got us into that.
Yeah.
Coaching basketball. We were just trying to beat him.
Yeah.
Finding a love for it. But, I remember I started off as a sub because I didn't have a certificate.
Right.
So you remember what made me have to go get my certificate?
I think it was they're about to move you or something, wasn't it?
Nah, man. Well, 3rd game of the season, we're warming up at Lockhart Stadium. And, quarterbacks are warming up. I'm with my quarterbacks. First of all,
oh, yeah.
I'm thrown into the offensive coordinator role. All right. So I get thrown into the offensive coordinator role.
Yeah.
At 23.
Yeah.
I'm on the field. Somebody doesn't say anything. I look up and I get hit in the eye. Bah,
yeah.
Football.
I had to remember. Yeah.
No insurance.
Yeah.
Part-time employee. And I'm like, I could have lost all my vision.
Yeah, that was a tough night. Like that was pregame too.
Yeah. So in my mind, it's like, all right, I got to make this thing official.
Yeah.
It's kind of what pushed me into teaching. And look at us now, 14 years later, man.
Yeah, man.
It's here, man. We still right here.
It's crazy. It's not crazy because it's in God's plan, but the journey was crazy just because of how things transpired and where we had to go and different things we had to do to
But
prepare.
for you, it was different though. Both of your parents are educators, so
Yeah,
you-
both my people were educators. But to be truthful, and I know PE teacher's gonna get me for this, but I had my dad class in high school, so at the end of the day, I was getting it 24/7. So
yeah.
Coach King was the one that I really got to see between Coach King and Coach J.
And Coach J,
And
shout
Coach
out
J.
Coach J.
And
Oh,
Coach
man.
J.
Yeah.
I really got to see, like, this what y'all do all day? Like, just, you know what I mean? I said, oh, this shit. I knew in 11th grade I was gonna be a PE teacher. That one, it was done deal. That's what I'm
I
going.
mean, it was crazy because with both of those PE teachers you talk about right now, I went in their classes every year and never had to do anything but help them.
And there's one other person I forgot, and I can't forget him, Coach Stick. Coach Stick was the other.
Oh, yeah.
So those three was in PE, and those three influenced me to be PE teachers, man. Like, my dad did. Don't get me wrong, like, that was the first sight, but then it was like, this is what you get to be in the weight room all day. You get to do athletic things all day. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I can't beat that. And I get my summers, I get my Christmas break, I get all that off. Come on.
I guess I never looked at it from that standpoint, but once I got into it, it was never another profession for me, and it was crazy. And
Listen,
the difference was getting out here and being out here in Texas and coaching in Texas is totally different, man.
it's different.
Totally different. So you finally, after what, about 8 years, you finally get your chance to become a head coach. Nah, it's more than that. About 10 years. Finally get
It's about 10. Yeah, about 10.
Get your head coaching opportunity in high school. Tell me how that come about.
Well, I had left Core Glaze. I did 4 years at Core Glaze. Left Core Glaze because they did some cutting, job wise.
I remember those budget.
So they did budget cuts. So a lot of the elementary people, they start cutting out the arts. They start cutting out music. They start cutting out PE at the elementary level. And so what happened was I didn't have enough years. Somebody else had more years than me. So what happened is they bumped me out. So didn't get fired, but they bumped me out. So they took precedence because of the years they had. So I ended up going to, and this is another crazy story. Like
hey, you gotta tell it.
Yeah, this is another crazy story. So I'm in college. Yeah, I'm in college, and my dad, he's a PE teacher. Him and my uncle, they were working at the same school.
Yeah.
They were college buddies, pledged Omega Psi Phi together, so they were working at the same school. So fast forward all of that, I get bumped. My uncle had just retired the year I got bumped. So we went through the process. I went through like a half a year where I was subbing. I was subbing at Margate Middle. So I was subbing. I got a call to say, hey, are you ready to get back to work? And I'm like, sure. Please tell me where I'm going. They said, you're going to Addicts Middle. I said, say that again? You're going to Addicts Middle. I couldn't do nothing but just laugh on the phone. And the lady was like, what's wrong? I said, my uncle and my dad taught there. Like, you don't understand how like big this is, because it could have been anywhere else, but I go to Addicts Middle School. So I spent 6 years at Addicts. While at Addicts, I was lucky enough to get on at Pinecrest. I did 6 years at Pinecrest, and I just wanted to be, at that point, I had done enough of the secondary coach. I had did one year of a defensive coordinator. So at this time, I was ready to move into the next role, into the next step up, which is to be a defensive coordinator. So I got with Coach Anderson, who is at he's at the NAIA school in Kentucky. So I got with Coach Dom and went over some things, but really didn't go over anything on the board, to be honest with you. We was just in the meeting, we was talking, and one point that we had in common was my high school running back. My high school running back was his roommate.
Oh man.
So he knew it. Yeah, Canez, man. So he knew exactly who I was talking about. He knew exactly. Like, he was like, you got to be kidding me. I'm like, no, that's my high school running back all day long. So he was like, okay. Don gave me a call the next day because it was more than just me in the room. It was somebody else trying to, go for that spot as well. So he was like, okay. So he called me. He's like, man, what you think about being my defense coordinator? I'm like, cool, I'm there. I say, when practice is, when you lifting weights, I'm there. So that was around about February. I get a call. Matter of fact, we meeting. And Don say, fellas, I'm trying to go back to college, because that's where he came from. So everybody was like, okay, coach. He say, if everything go through and I don't say anything to you after spring break, then I'm here. Well, we get a call middle of spring break and say, man, I'm taking the job. So he took the job in Kentucky. So I was like, all right. So I'm back to square one because I don't know who they're gonna pick. Wow. And then something say, just put in for the head coach job and see what happens. Like, just see what happens. The worst thing they can tell you is no. So prior to that, I had went on an interview at Pompano High. That was my first ever interview for a head coach job. I was nervous. I mean, nervous, shaking, all of that. And that was like 2 years prior to this. So I put in, and then this is how I know, like, it's God's plan for certain things. At the time I was at Addicts and doing Pinecrest, I was doing Plantation Wildcat Optimus as well. So I leave from Pinecrest, drive south, get to Plantation, hold another practice. Our head coach, Jason Corsover, calls me.
Shout out Jay.
Shout out Jay. He calls me and was like, man, did you put in for the South Plantation job? And I'm like, yeah. He was like, you want me to call the principal? And I said, huh? Like, what do you, like, I said, Jason, what you mean? He's like, you want me to call the principal? I was like, how you know? I was like, man, my wife, we run in circles, blah, blah, blah. So, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, Jay. Put that word in for me. Next thing I know, I'm top three. And I mean, like, listen, I'm going against some, now that I found out I'm going against some heavy hitters, like coaches that hasn't been doing it for a long time in the game and really, know their stuff. So I go in, present my piece. I wasn't nervous this time. Like, I not at all. I was very confident, not cocky, but confident in what I was saying and what I wanted to do and laying out my plan.
Hey, that's key. That's key what you just said.
Yeah.
That's key what you just said.
You gotta know, like, in order to walk into your destiny, man, you gotta have that plan already set up. Like, forward thinking, man, to get you the way you want to go. So for me, I had already set up, being in 3 different programs, and understanding different bits and pieces that you can pull from each program, or how they own your own philosophy and your own way of doing things. Once you get to the point where, all right, you feel as though it's comfortable, now it's time for you to move again, because you got to be uncomfortable. Like, you really got to be uncomfortable. And for me, that part of it is where I had the confidence in the interview. I just was confident about it. Like, I can do it. Now, once again, after I got it, now it was almost like, all right, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Like, so, but I got a call the first day of spring, well, the Sunday night before the first day of spring. And it's like, yeah, we want you to be a head coach. And so from there, man, the rest is where I'm at now. So that's
great. That's a great story, man. What are your principles for your program, man? What are your principles for your program?
Well, we have 6, 7 building blocks. One is trust. I gotta trust, you gotta trust, I gotta trust you, and you gotta trust me. We both trying to get to the same result, but I gotta be able to trust that what I'm giving you, you're gonna put out. Next one is accountability. Each person gotta hold their teammate accountable, as well as I hold my coaching staff accountable. So accountability is a big piece. The next one is effort. I think, and I get to that, I think that's one of the biggest things, man. It's just the effort that you put out. Because I grind all day long. I grind even in now. I done been on so many clinics and different things like that, that your effort has to be there. If your effort is there, it's gonna lead you to wins, it's gonna lead you to being better and better production in life, just life general. Next thing is commitment. And I know right now for a lot of the athletes, this is the time of commitment. Not being watched by your coach, not being watched by your other teammates. It's easy to slack off right now. But if you committed to the team, you committed to yourself, you'll be working out, busting your tail as much as possible. You may not be outside. You may have to go get in the garage, do what you do, go jump rope. You may have to run around the block. But the commitment is what you're gonna need. And then a big one is sacrifice. Sacrifice. Some things that you're not gonna be able to do that everybody else doing. Period. You're not gonna be able to hang out. You're not gonna be able to do this, go to this party. You're not gonna be able to do that. There's certain things that you're gonna have to give up. We even give up as coaches. We give up a lot of family time because we're trying to make other young men better. We're trying to make them better. So we give up a lot of family. I tell my team that, like, when I don't see effort, when I don't see sacrifice, when I don't see any of that, I tell them, I say, man, I'm out here. I'm out here almost 7 days out of the week. So those are the blocks that we build upon, man. Those are the first things that we instill in our players and things like that. So just that, man. Just get you some key blocks that you can stand on.
Always great things for young coaches, man. I appreciate the time. Is there any last message you got? We got to continue this, man. We got to go part 2, man.
Yeah, we could do part 2. That's no problem. I got a couple hot takes for you though.
All right, go ahead.
All right. And I know the answer to this, but I know the answer to this, but I gotta say it. I gotta say it.
All right.
Ray Allen or Reggie Miller?
Ray Allen.
Yeah, I knew the answer to it. I just want to throw it out there. All right. Nah, this is a different question.
Go ahead.
It's a question.
I was saying you're gonna make America
looking back on it now. Would you have came to the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, you was right, man.
Okay.
It's the sole reason right now when it comes to my son that well, really all of them, I really want them to play on the defensive side of the ball. I feel you can control your own destiny on that side. And I feel it's safer, at the end of the day. I was always one that felt I needed to have the ball in my hand to be effective. And patience wasn't so much a key for me at that time. So that was the part of me that didn't just say, hey, I feel naturally all right going to the defensive side of the ball. And I just felt that I could make a bigger impact with it in my hand versus without it.
All right, last one. Florida Heat or Houston Heat?
Huh?
Florida Heat or Houston Heat? I know a Texas get like one.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this here. Don't nothing beat Florida Heat because it's it's just
It's suffocating.
what? It's just wet, bro. I mean, we go to football practice sometime for my son at 6 o'clock, and it's 105. But
Yeah.
it don't feel
105.
105 in South Florida.
105 South Florida, it was about $1.20.
Yeah, 105 in South Florida. Yeah. No,
Yeah, the humidity.
I can tell you this. In Houston, if you don't have AC in your car, you should get a ticket. Tell you that now.
Well, listen, you already hold on now, because you done been back when we were grinding in the dually, and the dually ain't had no AC like that.
Dooley had enough though.
Man,
we used to get it how we live in there.
Yeah, cause we had to put a wood chip in the window because the window thing was going down. We used to ride out in the dually.
Oh man, that got to be our next couple, man. We're gonna start off with talking about cars. We done
had it all, boy. We done had it all.
Man, it's a pleasure being on here, man.
You already know.
I appreciate you. Until next time, my bro.
All right, bro.
Oh no, back row.